Today we're going to work on a feature called Clip Captioner. It's going to be a file drop where we're going to drop in a video clip and it will send it up to our server to get captioned. So this is something that a lot of other video programs already have implemented into them, but we're going to have it as part of our Social Streamline suite of tools. You could also notice that it could be a tool that could be its own standalone SaaS, which I will get to in a later video. Let's jump in and have some fun. So we're going to continue on and we're going to add in a new page. It's going to go somewhat here. We'll see what the AI does, but we're going to call it Clip Captioner. So Clip Captioner, as you can tell probably from the name, is going to be a file drop, much like what we've had before. And people are going to be able to drop in clips onto this file drop. It's then going to display those clips. And then there's going to be a bunch of settings for the types of captions that we want to be able to put onto our movies. So this is really going to be handy to kind of be able to chew through a bunch of different clips to put captions on them, and then use those captioned clips to then be used in our posts, either for Smart Post or with our composer. So this is going to be a handy little tool that actually could be broken out into a smaller SaaS tool for just captioning clips and have a subscription service for that. So that is something I'm considering and I will likely do, but I wanted to have that within Social Streamline itself because this is going to be kind of like our all-in-one social media suite tool that we're going to be able to post everything and just kind of have all of our social media tools all in one. So I have a prompt here that I wrote somewhere else. I like to write my prompts in other documents sometimes, all the time, but sometimes because I can lose them or something can get messed up and I like to just kind of, or I could bump enter. I've done that before, bump enter before I'm ready to have it actually be used within a prompt. So here we're going to give this to the agent. It's quite a bit. It just kind of describes what this Clip Captioner page is, what it does, and then we're actually going to be using our no-code architect toolkit for this type of service, and we're going to leverage this to actually make this service and build it out. So again, this is something that Stephen Pope has put together and that his community has worked on, and I have this deployed to a server on Google Cloud. I've talked about this in a previous episode, but I probably mention a little bit again, and I encourage you guys to check out Stephen's videos on this. I'll link it in the description of this video as well, because this is a very handy server code base that can be used for a lot of various different services. So I went through that again in another video, but it's all listed out here in the GitHub repo, and I'll link to that as well. Leveraging this service, we are going to get this cooking, and it's just me kind of describing out this page and talking about the document. So the service is working, and I do have a video here that I got back, but the captions are super small. So I need to make sure that the settings are being sent in. So I have that prompt going here right now, which I just kind of put in that settings object that we see here on the documentation page, even though I gave it the URL, and it did build out a decent UI for all of this: basic, style, advanced, and this replace, which is some rules for like ums and uhs. So we can say like find, replace with empty string. So it just kind of takes those out. I need to test that a little bit further, but it didn't get all the settings right, and it's not sending them up. So we need to fix that, and that's what I'm working on right now. So I put that prompt in, which is kind of, like I said, putting that JSON in there. But I'm pretty happy with the results so far, and the service does work. Also, I'm very happy that I don't have to transcribe the video. It does it for me as part of this service. So that is pretty sweet. That's like an extra step that I don't have to do, so I don't have to transcribe, then send it up to the captioning service. So that's great. So it turns out that settings can be interpreted in different ways. So the settings were not wrong. They were being sent in. I did do some additional prompts on this, thinking that the settings were not being sent in, and the AI is being, assuring me that they are. I did some font changes because I actually went into the logs and saw what fonts were being actually loaded into the program. So I added those. So we have some additional fonts, and I also made it so that they're previewed within the dropdown, which is always nice. Yeah, it looks like most of them are rendered right from what I can tell. And I actually made a load preset, so I can save this preset that I have going here, but this is just the default. So I had something else going here, but the font size was just too small. I assumed that 24 was a pretty good size. Well, it turns out that's not a good enough size at all. So it's more like 96 that you would want this set at. And the kind of classic caption that you are probably used to seeing in TikTok and other things, at least what I've been seeing, is this one. So we've got that going here, and these are different settings. So the word highlight color is this blue color. So if I wanted that, I would change here to that blue. And then this is the actual, I know it doesn't make sense, line color. So maybe these need to be labeled differently, but it's at white right now. And that's like, this internal letter color. And then you got the kind of the black outline going here. And we see that's outline color. So that's nice. And then we've got the different types of caption styles. So this would be the highlight one, and you don't really need to do much with that other than different positions. So bottom, center, and center. So this is bottom, center. We could edit this to actually be something you can click and drag and move around. But for right now, we're going to leave it at this. I think this is pretty good. And this is pretty standard because there's usually things down below in this area right here. So you kind of want this freed up, and then, there's stuff that's usually in this area. So if this video plays and the text by and large stays within those bounds, you're pretty good. And if we play this a little bit, there you go. That one kind of overruns over in the right here and like right there. But this is a great feature. Love this auto captioner. Already, this could be a standalone SaaS, and I'm going to do that. So I'll be doing another follow-up video on that. But this is a great little feature that I wanted to talk about and go through. And I think for right now, for what I want this to be, I think we could ship this. What would be really cool is to kind of make this an all-in-one feature, right? To be able to have some selections for whatever video clips you drop in, and then have some selection fields. Yeah, this one needs to be captioned. Yeah, this one needs to be transcribed. Yeah, this one needs all of that. And then you can do that per clip, have it auto of course, transcribe, but then also do auto title and description, and then be able to say like, yep, I like this description. Nope, I want to edit this one for TikTok, LinkedIn, all of that. So to me, that's kind of where I want this kind of Social Streamline product to go and how I want it to look. So I think that would be pretty sweet. Now that's a handy feature, and it came together very quickly. I think this episode, as short as it is, really capitalized on the fact that how quickly things can come together using these tools. Be sure to jump into my free school community, codelesscollective.com, and you can pick up the code and follow along with my community there. Looking forward to seeing you in the next episode, and jump in the comments and let me know what you'd like to see next.